Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Ronnie B, and you are here for session number two of Living Wealthy, the basics, love, romance, and partnership. And we have up there, we have displayed session one, but this is session number two. So for those of you who get the video version or the YouTube or the Facebook. It really is session number two. And we got a lot of work in this session. But before we, kick things off, we want to have a little performance to kind of get us in the groove. So I think we have a selection by Shani the Poet. Enjoy.
My mic, my mic high. Hmm. Your scent lingers on long after we left to go home, but you won't tell me what it is. Somehow your words stay stuck as I imagine my luck as good as it gets just to get you once, twice, maybe even several times. Can you imagine the things that are on my mind? Well, allow me to tell you if you got a minute. I would allow you to get all up in it. But before I can let you go there are a few things that I like to share, like how good I am with my fingers and my hands. Are you listening, sweetie? Because I do have a plan on how I can start and how good it'll be when I'm finished. And giving you a single piece of chocolate for an aphrodisiac. Yeah, I want you hard, because I'm going to need you to hit it from the back. Oh, goddamn, I like it like that. So I have to set you up proper, starting with my tongue. Me and your manhood can go one on one. As I hum the alphabet and get you ready to come. But please wait, I'm definitely not done. I have to show you how a real woman can do it. Take full control over your body and your mind, massaging your thoughts and fucking you at the same time, just to see if you're on my level. Can you handle the fact that I've wanted you for a while? I waited. I did it with a smile. See, I already knew what I would do when I finally got you. See, desire is a motherfucker, a must-have. Yeah, baby, I can't wait till you tap this ass. See, I need you to be like Anita and give me the best that you got. Do you see how wet and warm it is now that you finally hit that spot? Now you know my pussy is like my poetry. It's good from all angles. Doesn't matter if it's a single word or a single stroke. The rest of y'all can take note of this girl's skills. Every time will be nothing but a thrill as I mount up to ride and take you inside of a place you ain't never been. You dreamed about it. You creamed when you thought about it. Shit so good that you faint without it. Now look at me and tell me you want to leave here tonight without it. I'm done with him. Now I desire you. Please pull up to the next window and please drive through. Press star 69 to repeat the message. Your scent lingers on long after we left to go home, but you won't tell me what it is.
All right, snap, snap, toe tap. Desire, Shani the Poet. Tonight's workshop, the occurring world of knowing. Hmm,
Hmm.
knowing. The the occurring world of sex and intimacy. I wonder if we got a little hint at something from the opening. And of course, the divine prosperity blaster. Now, I am Ronnie B, and let me turn this over to one of my favorite divas, Diva Robin. Over to you.
Aw, thank you, Ronnie. And thank everyone for joining us tonight for session number two of Living Wealthy, the basics, love, romance, and partnership. I am Robin, and I am joined by divas Nikki, Nakia, and Janice. We are your course leaders for this 6-part series, and Ronnie B. is co-leading with us as well. Thank you to all of you. Living Wealthy, the basics. Love, romance, and partnership is specifically designed for participants to have breakthroughs in manifesting, having, and living a wealthy life from inquiring into these basics. The distinctions of love, romance, and partnership are at the heart or center of power in manifesting our deepest and most important desires. If this is your first time participating in a Prosperous Divas webinar or workshop, we are so glad you are here. We promise if you do the assignments, you will have breakthrough results in an area of love, romance, or partnership. We make the same promise if you have participated in one or more of Prosperous Divas webinars or workshops before. There is a powerful way to listen and participate in this seminar. Whatever is present for you in your listening about the seminar and your participation, I ask that you put those aside for the duration of the seminar. If you are listening for whether you agree or disagree, just for the length of the seminar, put that aside. A powerful place to listen from is, what am I committed to having as a breakthrough from my listening and participation? I think you can see that listening for what you're committed to is a heck of a lot more powerful than listening for whether you agree or disagree. If you listen for whether you agree or disagree, you're just going to come away going, wow, I didn't agree, or wow, I agreed, and that's all. If you listen for what am I committed to having as a breakthrough from my listening, then what you'll come away with is a breakthrough. You can have a miracle or a breakthrough from your participation this evening. Create something important enough so that you can listen for having a breakthrough from your participation. Like you were on an airplane in very, turbulent air, and the stewardess is telling you what to do. That's how to listen. So like it's really important. So you are to select one of these areas: love, romance, or partnership. Choose a breakthrough you would like to have in that area from your participation this evening. Make it something that is specific and measurable. As you listen and participate in the seminar, that breakthrough is what you have at stake. That breakthrough is what you are here playing for. Your job is to listen and participate from having that breakthrough happen. The Divas and I are going to review the results that manifested from what we put at stake last session. So, Diva Nikki, are you here? You put having a breakthrough in being open and welcoming to love. Diva Nikki, what happened?
So right now it looks like Diva Nikki is having a little bit of a technical issue, and
Well, then let's start with Diva Nikia. Is that okay?
No, yeah, go right ahead.
All right. Well, Diva Nikia, you put having a breakthrough in taking risks and being daring. Diva Nikia, what happened?
Okay, it looks like we got a little tech issue with going on with Diva Nikia. Do we have?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, do we have Janice?
Yes, you do, Ronnie.
All right. Well, we got to. Okay. Well, we got. Yeah. Let's go to. I heard a voice. It sounded good.
So, Diva,
Spice and jelly.
Janice, you
Yeah.
you said that you wanted to look at how you can continue to progress and not sit on your laurels. And you put at
Yeah.
stake having a breakthrough in listening. So, Diva Janice, what happened?
Well, for me, it's a continuum, and I say that humbly because I always want to do better, not just say, okay, I have experience in this area, I'm trained here, this is how I influence whatever, because in life we're constantly evolving. And for me, it's exciting because no one is paying me for my advice. I'm learning as I'm sharing. So
Hmm.
it helps me in my professional arena because I have politicians, I have senators who are clients, I have all of these different people that I get an opportunity to serve. And many times I'm inundated with so much
Hmm.
information until you have a brain
Hmm.
freeze. You know what I'm saying? You have a brain freeze.
Yeah.
It's because you gotta kind of put some things in a synchronized pattern so that you stay vibrant as a person. And
Hmm.
that's what I strive for. So in my listening, it was helping me to stay vibrant so that I'm
Hmm.
not excuse me, so that I'm not stuck on, oh, I got to go to this job and do this, even though I work for myself,
Mhm.
but still we have that attitude. It's like, oh God, I don't feel like dealing with these clients today. I just don't. But and you kind of know where they are because the MO doesn't change. But one thing I had to look at was, what is God teaching me that I need, the fruit that I need to bear in order to be better, number one, as a person, not as a professional, but as a person, so that I can be at my best self. And then I can better help the people that are divinely assigned to my path in this season. So if he
Mhm.
changes it next season, wonderful. Because I want to be on a yacht, you know, sipping
Hmm.
something, but I just want to be away. However, this is where I am. So I accept a challenge for me to change. That's my takeaway.
Hmm.
Got it. Did you have?
Oh.
Let me ask you a quick question. Did you get any between last session and now? Do you have anything that was really specific that opened up for you, or that was different, or something that someone said to you that validated the growth that you just described?
No, because honestly, I'm on a path of growth. I sincerely, when I say this, and I really mean it, every morning I'm up between 4:30 and 5:30 to engage between me and God. You can call it divine or creator or whatever, between me and God. And it's personal for me. It's not a moment, it's moments that led me to where I am. Um, I'm open and honest enough with myself to know where I need to give in. I'm open and honest enough, and I understand about myself where I need, because it's part of my conviction, spiritual conviction, where it's my truth, and this is the truth that guides me based upon what my faith is. So for me, it was an encouragement. Just it's a
Hmm.
continuum. It's not
Got it.
a moment. It's not an event. It's a lifestyle.
Got it. Okay, great. Well, if so, thank you so much, Janice. It's really clear, and it's lovely that you've
Thank you.
created a life for yourself of ongoing growth. It's really super. Um, I'm going to go ahead and say what's happened for me.
Oh no, we're
Oh,
gonna wait. You get
oh
to
yeah,
go last. You get to go last.
I can go
Let
last.
But let's
I
check.
got patience for this
Did we get the
seminar.
technology back? I just want to do a quick check in. Did we get
Yes,
the
yes.
technology back with
Nikki?
Diva Nikki and Diva Nikia? 1,000,
Diva
1,000.
Nikki. Diva
Diva
Nikki,
Diva
yes.
Nikki.
Nikki!
All right, go back
Yay!
to Diva Nikki. Yay.
Diva Nikki! Hi, glad you're back.
Hey,
Hey,
yes, yeah, me
sweetheart,
too.
you put
So,
you put having a breakthrough and being open and welcoming to love. So Diva Nikki, what happened?
absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
So this week,
That's
yeah,
probably
absolutely
good,
nothing.
right?
So I would not say that it's good. I would say that it is what it is. So for me, this past week was filled with more emotional breakdowns. And so when I wasn't crying and going back, dealing with things with my brother, the last thing that was on my mind was
Oh.
conversations about love.
Mhm.
So we're still working on that, but we're working on that with time. I don't even know how. I'm like you were last week, Robin. I don't know what that looks like. I
Hmm.
just know that I'm open
Hmm.
to it and I'm welcoming, and that's where I'm at right now.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your authenticity and for your heart.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Diva Nikki, I have a question.
yes,
Okay. Now, did you and I have a conversation this week?
we did.
How was the conversation?
The conversation was light. It was insightful. Um, we talked about the current world of knowing, and we talked about breakthroughs, and where we were. So it was light. It was nice.
Okay. And how were you left after the conversation?
If I remember it, where I was at that time, I was okay at that time.
Hmm. Okay. And all right, so you were okay.
Hmm.
Hmm. Was that a great place to be at that time?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. See, the thing is that as we are, I'll say, breaking through. Didn't say you broke through, but as we're breaking through, we don't notice that we're chipping away. And the key
Right.
to that is acknowledging. So
Yes.
it really was great. Wasn't the whole battle, wasn't the road, but it really was great.
Right.
And it
Mhm.
was a
Agreed.
remarkable conversation
Agreed.
that we had never had before.
Totally agreed.
So I dare say, and I'm certain this out for everybody participating, we have miracles and breakthroughs, we just don't recognize them.
Mm.
How true. How true.
So just wanted to put that in because I did have that, and.
Yeah.
But you got something at stake, I love this, Janet. She got something at stake, All
Ronnie,
right. Mhm.
it's just really, I think God has a great sense of humor. He just does. And if we're looking on being true to the path that we have been assigned on this side, then we open ourselves up to um, development, and which is ongoing. Personal development is ongoing, and I look forward to expanding my path. I'm very grateful and I'm very humbled that through an unconventional setting, if you will, that this level of engagement is taking place. And I'll just say that. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. I listen to the ladies, and what I do listen for is the spirit in which people speak. That speaks volumes, and I hear so much love and excuse me, and the compassion and passion that dwells in all of the women where they are in life, and that is inspiring to me because I'm trained to listen. That's my profession. I'm trained to listen, and I hear that in the context and in the content of what we say. We don't agree on everything, which is okay because we come from various walks of life and we're doing many different things. But what I hear as a common denominator is you are sincere about making life meaningful for you and the people who are in your life. And to me, that's so enriching.
Got it. All right. All right. Now, Diva Robin, I made you go last because I don't think we had Diva Nakia, but I am going to share. I had something that I think I had a couple of things and just refresh my memory.
Can you not hear me?
Wait, Diva Nakia, do we have you?
Because it's nothing else.
She's coming in on stealth mode on folks. Well, go to Diva Nakia. Robin, go
Diva
for
Nakia.
it.
All right, Diva Nakia. I'm so glad we can hear you. So, and I love the way you stuck up and said, "Yes, I'm here." So, which is consistent with what you said you wanted to have a breakthrough in, which is taking risks and being daring. And the way you interrupted the the thinking that you weren't here when you were, that was definitely daring. So so Diva Nakia, what happened for you?
Okay, like I said, what I have been putting at stake is having a breakthrough and taking risks and being daring. So, by allowing myself to date and being open to a romantic relationship, creating a dating to occur and fixing things that stop me from dating. So, on Tuesday, did not have the date. However, there was a great conversation that did occur. And what I did was get present to what was important to him and really listening in his communication for where he was at. Okay.
Wow.
And further the conversation this week and throughout the week, and even on yesterday, come to the understanding that I can identify with his space because he's like a workaholic, and I was once there. And during the conversation, I'm like, okay, well, I'm open and I'm really becoming transparent and I am being vulnerable and taking the risk of really allowing you to get to know me.
Yes.
However, no, not however, and it's clear to me that your work and generating an income is extremely important to you. And in the communication and the listening, he was like, yeah, my mom actually says I work too much. And I was like, tell your mom thank you.
Yeah. Did you say that?
I did.
All right.
Was that daring and bold for you to say?
It was. Because I don't and I said because the communication is clear that you want to have a relationship with me and you want to get to know me. However, there is something there, which is your need to work and generate an income consistently, like no holds barred. And I said, in order for us to really get to know each other and to establish anything and date, I said, I'm on spring break now. My son is on spring break. I'm on vacation now. I said, is there going to be time that you create a space for us to get to know each other and hang out and spend time together? I said, because it would be the ideal time. And if you're
Wow.
not create a space for us to really get to know each other outside of me being at my place of employment, and that don't work for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. I was getting goosebumps the whole time you were talking.
Yeah, I'm listening to all this bold and daring over here.
Yeah.
I thought and we know that the goddess of faith we know the empress of faith is a church girl. I'm like, whoa.
Wow. What? Yeah, fantastic.
Wow, that is awesome.
A great conversation. Today is his birthday, so it really, for me, it was important to me, that I shared that conversation with him before his birthday and got clear, because going into the day, regardless of whether or not I see him today or not, or when I see him again, it's flat with what his intentions are to some extent enough for me to say, okay, it's cool for me to still be open to the idea and desire to get to know him more, to develop and establish a relationship with him, because he's able to recognize that there is something in the way, there's a breakdown in us being able to really move forward with anything until he gets clear with, the work concern. And it's not there, but I'm like, at least once a week, a couple of times a week, a couple of times a month. But,
so I'm just going to interrupt you just a little bit, because I don't want people to miss this. Because in a lot of our courses, we talk about specific, measurable results. And we talk about vagueness. Vagueness is the enemy to divine power. It vagueness, being vague and allowing vagueness in your life. Not to, hey, look, let me tell you, I have to work with that, because I'll let vagueness slip in, and vagueness will steal your power. It will diffuse it everywhere. And I just want to acknowledge you for taking responsibility for your power and for your world by saying, hey, look, dude, cards are on the table. Here it is. What you gonna do? Now we don't have to play around, because if whatever it is you can't handle this issue, your job is not to fix it for him.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And you need to know.
And the beauty of it is you said exactly what your requirement is. We need, it wasn't like people will so often say, I want to spend more time. Well, 1 minute more?
Right.
How much? But you said what would work for you, and that was brilliant and definitely bold and daring.
I loved every bit of it. I was here for it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's phenomenal. So, you want to tell us what he said? Just because I know we're curious.
Right?
You did your job. How did he do?
He was in agreement. And so he's going to really look into his schedule and see how to create that space. And we talked about his agenda for the week. And we will further the conversation on tomorrow, because I'm not trying to further that conversation on today. Today is his celebration of life. So we will further that conversation. Absolutely.
Wow. Nice.
Okay. And by when will you have the date?
Which date? The date of the date? The date or the date to?
No, the date for the date you go out together as two people
on a date.
And what date? What is the date?
vague. I will have that information on tomorrow.
Okay, no, I know that wasn't the question. Because see, this is where you're letting yourself off the hook, and you don't deserve that. You deserve to have, but you're gonna have to be rigorous and say, hey, look, whatever you come to tomorrow, look, Saturday we going on a date. Now, because you want your word to dictate what happens, not the world to tell you what word to say.
Right. Okay. Got it.
It can be a buy. It can be a buy win, even, Nakia. Like we will have gone on a date by next Sunday, so it could be Thursday night, it could be Friday night, it could be. It doesn't have to be a certain night, but you want to own that you're causing it. That's what Ronnie is saying.
Thank you. Clear.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah, what he said.
Thank you. So definitely say by Sunday evening.
Beautiful. I got that.
We will have gone on a date. I will definitely be.
All right, we'll be checking in.
Yeah, we will. And I so acknowledge you for for being like living into your breakthrough that you said. I mean, really. And then also, I also I forgot what I was going to acknowledge you for. There was another thing that you just demonstrated so brilliantly. I mean, you just demonstrated everything about it. It'll come back in a second, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm older.
Yeah. All right, but we do have to kind of move it now.
Yes. But it was something that really important, and it will come back. So anyway, is it my turn now?
Go for it.
Hot diggity. All right. So I said having to be more open. Let's see. No, that's what I wanted to say from last time. Now I've actually lost what I said. There we go. Having a breakthrough and being present such that negative thoughts or conversations disappear so quickly that there's no experience of negativity or irritation. So here's what happened. This one that was kind of indirect, but really was evidence of that. My husband came home and shared yesterday that he had gone for a walk, a long walk with his boss. My husband loves his job and he loves the people he works with. And he had gone for a walk with his boss. And he shared with me that he had told his boss that he felt more comfortable in his skin and happier than he could ever remember being in his whole life, except maybe before his baby brother was born when he was a child, which I thought was an amazing thing to even think about. Like being happy is, I mean, like how many people are in touch with being that happy when they were little kids before their sister came along or whatever. I thought it was interesting. And he said that he attributed it to being with me.
Wow.
Which is like probably, one of the most beautiful and wonderful and amazing acknowledgments I've ever gotten. And I think that and if I were being irritable, I don't think he would be saying that. So I think that's happening. But there's another incident, and it had nothing to do with my husband or romance. It was about I'm in a book club, and I'm one of the founders of the book club, and there was a glitch with the last book that I chose for my turn. We take turns, and the book that I chose is not very available at the library, and a lot of people like to get it at the library, and they'd really prefer not to buy the book, and it's a long book, so I had asked this other woman if she would push her book back a month to the next month so we'd have a longer time and everybody could get this one. And I kind of knew that she was going to say no, because it's just predictable. Like, it's just like you can predict this woman is going to do that, like that's how she, and usually, or in the past, I would get so irritated and I would kind of fight her on it, And so I said, "Is it okay with you if we do that?" And she goes, "No, it's not." So I wrote back, and it was so great. I really was like irritated, like maybe 1 second. And I wrote back. I said, "Fine, it's your call." And I'm going to call it and let everybody know that we're just going to do it this way. And sorry if they weren't able to get the book, and that it was because and that you declined to move it back. And and so once I did that, and then let everyone know, it was absolutely fine. I mean, it wasn't like I was irritated and kind of being polite or doing it anyway. It was really that I was not irritated, and I have no idea how that happened, except having. Remember, I said I declared that, and I didn't know how it was going to happen, and having happened, I still don't know, but I don't really care. You know,
I like to comment.
Go
First of all,
for
I
it.
think that's awesome. But one of the things that stood out in the conversation that Ronnie and I had when we spoke this week was intention always manifests itself. So that it was your intention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Ronnie, for that.
Yes. I mean, it's really wild because in intention, thank you so much for underlining that or for pointing it out, because really intention is all it takes a lot of the time. It's not like you have to do something other than create the intention and mean it. You know, like really mean it and then let it happen how it happens. In fact, sometimes trying to make it happen, I think, becomes an obstacle.
It can, and it's actually, I think you're heading toward a good segue into the next session. Next segment.
Oh, nice.
So
anyway,
that's a
thank
hint.
you.
That's a hint. We got to move.
I got that part. I knew that. I knew that before that. And thank you for giving me the space to share it anyway. So thank you everyone for sharing, and the quality of what you shared is really inspiring and great example for other people about where to look in terms of what's happening with them. So for this session, we're each putting something new at stake or something from the last session being created newly. So it's not like you're doing it as a continuation. You're doing it like, oh, stop. This is kind of a line of demarcation, and either create something new or recreate the thing that you had already put at stake. Either one is totally fine. So we're going to start our first inquiry into the occurring world of knowing. So, to begin, what do you hear when we say occurring world? I'm going to give you just a few seconds to kind of look at that. What do you hear when we say occurring world? What do you hear when we say knowing? Something we don't think about very much. It's kind of taken for granted. But look at, what do you hear in the idea of knowing? What do you think we mean when we say the occurring world of knowing? It's not just a fancy phrase. We do mean something. What do you think we mean? As you are inquiring into the questions, let me see what's present present for the divas. Diva Nikki is our favorite veteran. She served our country with valor and honor. From the context of being a veteran, Diva Nikki, what do you hear, or what is present for you when we ask the question?
When I hear occurring world, as a veteran, when I hear occurring world, I hear what I feel, what's my feelings about, or what's happening in the world in terms of our military, in terms of our armed forces. That's what I hear as a veteran. The current world of what's present to me. What do I feel when I think about the current circumstances or the placement of our different soldiers in America, and even other countries? That's what I'm present to with the current world. When I hear the knowing, I hear fact, what's certain about my knowledge, or what's facts about what is was spoken, and received, but stated as facts, not any emotion or not any past experience, or any thoughts,
Right.
And then
Just
when
the
I
facts,
hear just the facts, and then the current world of knowing. Now, I gotta admit, that part, it kind of bothers me, because it's like, okay, what I'm present to is, what do I feel, or what happens with me as a veteran with the facts that are presented to me.
I'm sorry, I missed the last part. What happens with what, sweetie?
What happens with me? What happens with me in my world? How those things? What am I present to with the facts that are presented?
Oh, got it.
As a veteran.
Good. Yeah, thank you. Got that. Thank you. Diva Janice. Diva Janice is our favorite person trained professionally in psychology and human nature. Diva Janice, from the context of psychology and human nature, what is present for you when we ask the questions?
Well, what is present for me in the occurring world, of course, is the combination of conversations and ideology of what we think, which comprises what psychology is about, is very diverse. Number one is what I hear. And what I would like to say is every person must own their reality in the season that they're in. This is what I hear, because it varies for people and our experiences vary. And many things that we have brought along in every season of life are not necessary. This is in the occurring world. Many times there are just ideologies passed down from generation to generation, or through experiences that we have in the workplace or in social settings. So I think it's imperative for people to understand that their course in life has a greater meaning than just getting up to do and be a part of something, because there is a divine expression that must take place in everybody's life, because we're on assignment divinely. That's number one, what I hear with the occurring world. And when it comes to knowing, what speaks loudest to me is knowing that I have been given the gift of life, given the gift of freedom to make things happen. That's what I do know. And what I do with the power and the platforms that have been allowed it to me is my responsibility to shine and to inspire, not to take, but to garner, develop, and share, so that there's always a bridge, if you will, for those who are coming behind me or aside of me, may be derailed or whatever. It may be my path back to my reality. That's what I do know, is that I must utilize what I have, because the gifts and talents that I've been given have been given to inspire and to build up and to express love and to share wisdom and knowledge. That's what I do know.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Janice.
You're welcome.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you. So, for everyone, if you notice, everything they said is valid given the context they were sharing from. The context of our listening is decisive in all communications, and you'll be learning more about that. So, I am going to give you a little context for listening to the seminar. The occurring world is not the physical world, not just the facts. Let me repeat. The occurring world is not the physical world. The occurring world is the combination of conversations we have for and about the physical or real world that manifests and determines our experience of life and how we are living life. And I'm going to give you that one more time. The occurring world is the combination of conversations we have for and about the physical or real world that manifests and determines our experience of life or how we are living life. So we want you to keep that in mind as we continue the seminar. So let's look at knowing and the occurring world of knowing as it relates to having breakthrough results. Have I piqued your interest? Listen, strap on your seatbelts. This conversation can be a rocket ride. I am going to make a bold statement, and I want you to listen intently. And after you hear my statement, ask yourself what you heard, what you thought you heard, what you didn't hear, what you thought you didn't hear. I am going to say that you are to ask yourself what you thought you heard, what you didn't hear, what you thought you didn't hear. So here is the bold statement. Knowledge in and of itself makes no difference. Again, knowledge in and of itself makes no difference. So what do you hear in that statement? Diva Nikki, will you please share what you heard in that statement, what you hear in that statement?
What I hear in that statement is that knowledge in and of itself, what you know in and of itself, is just that. It's just what you know. And or even what you don't know. The knowledge that is present, that's available to you, and that is all around you is in and of itself, it just by itself makes no difference. You know, just being there, just being available, that by itself doesn't make a difference. That it's going to take more than knowledge being available or more than the awareness of something for it to make a difference.
Yes.
That's what I hear.
I got it. Thank you. Very clear. Diva Janice, will you share what you hear?
Oh, absolutely. What I hear is knowledge has to be an applied science. It's like faith without works is dead. No matter what you know, and a lot of people know a lot. We have sidewalk philosophers. You can find them anywhere. And they know a lot. But yes, some of them are homeless.
Some of them do.
God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, perfect, right?
So what I hear is you have to do something with what you know. Otherwise, it does not serve you. It cancels the information out. That's what I hear.
Very good.
Oh, God. I just wanted to say I do get faith with no action is and you ain't doing nothing. Okay, wow.
Exactly.
Mm-mm-mm.
Nice. So I'm going to thank you, Diva Janice and Diva Nikki. So let me give my bold statement a little more context. So knowledge in and of itself makes no difference in having breakthrough results. So Ronnie B, any insights you can share about my bold statement, that bold statement being knowledge in and of itself makes no difference in having breakthrough results.
Wow. Yeah. I think one of the insight, because really, Diva, Nikki, and Janice, they gave all the insights. they already handled that. But a personal insight that I have that I really got from what Janice just said is that came of that. There are so many knowledgeable people who are in poverty, who have very little, and they use knowledge as a justification for lack.
Mm. Wow.
And but what I got for myself is that don't play with those people. Leave those people alone. And because I'm focusing my energy on a conversation that makes no difference when there are people like Diva Nikki, Diva Janice, Diva Robin, Diva Nakia, and the people who participate in our seminars that my time and energy and whatever knowledge I have would be better served. So I got that personally to stop playing around because I got a few folks like that, but to stop playing around with them.
Mm.
So that's an insight I got from that bold statement. Leave folks alone. That ain't good for me.
Got it. Yeah. It occurs to me that, knowing you, Ronnie, I would imagine that you have made lots of invitations for those people to take on or to look beyond knowledge as an end in itself. But for anyone else, I want to kind of add on to what you said. Like, if that person's your sister or your mother or your brother, there's always an opportunity, or even just anyone who matters to you. There's always an opportunity to present to people as like an invitation for them to step into something that you can see possible for them. And yeah.
Just to clarify just a little bit, okay, because I don't want leaving them alone to sound like I'm kicking them to the curb, you out of my life and stuff, and all of that. Know when you've made an invitation and leave it alone.
There you go.
Okay, so that's hey,
that
look, I gave you an invitation. Now it's open, it's there. Now you either gonna take it and we're gonna have a date before Sunday, or you're not.
Great, perfect. That beautiful tie-in.
Okay,
beautiful tie-in.
Okay, you got to move it along.
All right. Okay, here we go. I love this part. You guys, I love this part. So the topic we're moving into is knowing and breakthroughs. So I said that knowledge in and of itself is useless when it comes to breakthroughs. So look at the circle on the screen and imagine that circle represents all the knowledge that could ever be acquired, not just by you, but by anybody. Anything that can or will be known, all the knowledge in the universe is represented in that circle. It's a lot of knowledge. How much knowledge, compared with all the knowledge, do you think you have? So if you're honest, in the circle of knowledge, what you know, even if it's 25 times more than what I know, which isn't all that much, it wouldn't even be a dot in that circle. So for our demonstration, we're going to look at the nature of knowledge in this particular way. So we're going to split the circle in half. And we're not saying that the half means that it really is half one way and half the other.
You still only have a dot.
Yes, really, yes, you still only have a dot. So we are going to split the circle in half. And one half we are going to label as what you don't know, with the initials DK, don't know. And the other half we're going to label K for what we know. So pretty much in life, we look to add from what we don't know to what we know. So when we don't know something, or we think we should have more knowledge, we look at the half circle of what we don't know and try to switch some of that stuff from don't know into know. So what we know that we know it. And when we discover there's something we don't know, we work to add it to what we know, or sometimes we may say, I don't care about knowing that, and we choose not to add it. But we know that we don't know it. So in both those circles, there's a knowing, or both those half circles. So in the one half, we don't know, and we know that we don't know it. And the other one, we know it, and we know that we know it. Pretty simple, right? So here's an example. I'll make it really clear. I don't know Swahili. And I know that I don't know Swahili. So I can choose whether or not I'm going to learn Swahili. Diva Nikki, what is something you don't know and you know that you don't know it?
I do not know how to fix brakes on a car. And I know that I do not know how to fix brakes on a car.
Very good. Diva Janice, same question.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. I know that I'm not a computer programmer, even though I do try, but I mess up a lot of stuff.
Oh, very good.
I know that I don't know that. I don't know code.
Got it. How about you, Diva Nakia?
Well, I'm very clear that I know that I do not know trigonometry and calculus.
Sound like that.
And I kind of hear that
taking them math classes.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's in the category of you don't know and you're not going to find out.
Exactly. I want to know how to know and calculus.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you all. I am going to propose that in that circle of knowledge, there is something hidden.
Mm.
So, yeah. So maybe there's something that doesn't fit into the category of what you don't know and what you know you don't know. So what about if we look at that there's stuff that we don't know and we don't even know that we don't know it. So it doesn't even show up for us. So I assert that there are things in life that we don't know, and we don't even know that we don't know it. And what you don't know is where the breakthroughs happen. I'm going to say that again. What you don't know that you don't know, that is where the breakthroughs happen. So, Diva Nakia, will you please share something that you didn't know that you didn't know? Well, now it's obviously something you found out that you didn't know, right? Because you're sharing about it now, so you can't share what you don't know. You don't know. You can only share it after you discover it, right?
Well, absolutely, because I'm laughing because it's like I don't know what I don't know because as far as
that's
I'm
right.
I know a lot.
but there's something you used to not know that you didn't know. Can you think of one of those?
You know what? Yeah, I can say
All right.
that it was at one point I didn't know Spanish, and I
No,
learned.
but you knew that you didn't know it, right?
Absolutely, I knew that I
No,
didn't know
this
that.
is not. No, we're looking for something that you didn't know, and you didn't know that you didn't know it. Like something that went like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that, and I didn't even realize that I didn't know it. Wow. Can you think of one of those?
I have a little reminder because Diva, Nikki, and Diva, we've worked with each other for a while, but I remember you sharing something about your son, and you didn't know how you were listening to your son,
You said
and your
Diva.
son.
You said
Sorry.
you meant Nakia, right?
I met Nikia. You know who you are. You've been around folks, and but you shared how you didn't know that how you were listening to your son, and once you were able to get that, you started hearing your son and how much he wanted to contribute to you, and that he was growing.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm clear now because I got.
I know it's all those knows and don't knows. It gets confusing.
So absolutely. So as Ronnie was sharing, what I didn't know was in an area related to my son, how he would want to cook for me, or would want to cook, period. And, listening to him as a small person. And what I didn't know was he had been really observing me. And when I would allow him to work with me in the kitchen and cook, macaroni and cheese and make the eggs and the bacon and so forth, that he was really soaking it up and eager to want to do it on his own. And I was protective of him and not wanting him to try it by himself, do it while I'm not around, because I was afraid that he was going to burn himself or something would happen, right?
Right.
Well, I allowed him to do that. And when I tell you, this boy makes the best macaroni and cheese.
Oh, gosh, what a great result. Yeah, it's really great. Perfect example.
Absolutely. So I was listening to him small, and I didn't know that he was really grasping and taking hold to the experiences that we were sharing together, or what I was doing, and he was really being present to it, and he got it, and he's a great cook, cook. So that was something that I didn't know.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ronnie, thanks for reminding her of that. And Diva Nakia, thank you so much for sharing that. It's perfect example and really lovely.
Thank you.
How about you, Ronnie B? What's something that you didn't know that you didn't know?
Well, just to give you a little context, there's a blues singer, and he's really famous, named Bobby Rush. Now, Bobby Rush has sang all over the world. He's at the government of China has him recognized on the Great Wall for the contribution he's made to blues music. So, he's kind of and then in the South and coming from my people's area of the world, big thing. Well, I come from a little small town, and like it's only got a little bit over 1,000 people, and yes, when a baby is born, they go and give them little stuff. It's really cute because it's a small town. And what I had worked with a community organization it's a national organization, but this was the local branch, and we were creating an event. One to make a difference for minority children in my hometown, and to also presence this division of a national organization. And I was able to have blues singer Bobby Rush agree to come and do a performance. And now he would not do it for free. He said, these are my expenses. You got to pay the expenses for me and the band. I'm not going to make a profit on this. So for weeks, I worked with the organization. Look, we got to do this. Let's promote. We got ads. And it's like, wow, Bobby Rush is coming to little Hicksville, Monticello, Arkansas, out in out in the Delta, But that is a big thing. This is blues country. And they would have to go to a bigger Pine Bluff or Little Rock or Memphis to see somebody like Bobby Rush. And it's the night of the event, and Bobby's coming to town and everything, and I speak to the group I'm working with. Well, how many tickets have y'all sold? They had not sold one ticket, not one. And I'm like, my God, how am I going to pay this man? What, he can't come all the way out his way to perform, and they haven't sold any tickets. I had sold some from my efforts, but I was counting on them because, hey, you're the division of the national organization here. And bottom line is that I had to ask my parents to loan me the money. And it was the worst time. We had just got hit with the worst economic depression. I had lost everything I had. I had been evicted. I had to move back in with my parents. And I remember my father saying to me that he used to respect me. And that just broke my heart. And I wasn't upset with him or like mean dad. It was like, man, Ronnie. I could get where he's coming from. He's a blue collar kind of guy, and and it was just like, wow. Well, fast forward a few years, and now I'm going to tell you, it was a great show. Bobby Rush did his thing, and the people were there. They enjoyed it, and it was about 50, 60 people there, and they really enjoyed it. It was really great, and I was just like in the worst place you could be, like failure. And like I said, I regrouped myself, and because I stand in possibility, and I was like, hey, I'm not gonna make him wrong. I could get where he's coming from, man. What's up? Well, years later, my mother happens to say, I'm talking to her, and she goes, well, your dad is just so proud of you. Well, what did I do recently that he's so proud of me? And what I didn't know was that over those years, people were constantly telling him how that was that was the greatest thing that had ever happened to that town, and they had nobody like his son ever do something like that for the community. So these were the people. And my father was hearing that when he go to the barbershop. You only got one barbershop in town. Wow. So you hear that. And so I didn't even, it just didn't even, it was like, hey, I got it and nothing I'm going to do with it. But wow. And I didn't know how that had been impacting our relationship. I could suspect it because, hey, I want my father to respect me. I get he loves me. But I want my father to respect me. And so that kind of, that was a area where I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah, no kidding. Beautiful. So, Diva Janice, from a context of psychology, how would one access breakthrough results?
Well, first of all, and thank you for asking. Yes, I am. And thank you for asking. Number one, in order for any person to really have breakthroughs on any level, number one, we have to identify the problem. That's number one. You got to identify what is not working. To pass over that or gloss over it is only going to perpetuate what you're currently stewing in. So number one is to identify. Number two is you got to create a plan of action. And what is also necessary with this plan of action is if you have caused any harm, is that you put yourself in the position to heal where you have hurt. Number one, that's most important. That's number two. And number three is to be consistent at it. Don't ever stop until the breakthrough happens. And you will know spiritually, emotionally, you're going to know that you've reached that level because your pattern, your behavior will change. So that's what I recommend. First and foremost, number one, is identify. Stop kidding yourself. Have that talk in the mirror, you and that person who is you, looking back at you, and just be true with yourself. This is how breakthrough happens. And then own up to what you have done. How did you get here? If you gave your power away, now it's time to take it back. If someone betrayed you, forgive them, but know how to close that door. This will give you a continuum in your breakthroughs.
Nice.
Back to you.
That's great. That's really great. Thank you. So, Ronnie B., do I have time to share right here, or shall we move on?
Oh, if it's a burning share, we can't stop the flow.
Well, it is a really good one, but it's kind of similar to yours, so I'll really do it a light touch, okay? So I didn't know that the way that I was listening to my father, which was that he didn't love me, caused me to interact with him in a way that brought out the worst in him. And that by changing how I listened to him, when I discovered that, I was able to completely change and transform our relationship. And yeah, I mean, I really, 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 really had no idea. I thought, and it turned out that it was very, very clear that he loved me all along.
Funny how that happens. You know?
One of my very one more thing I wanted to add on, and then we'll move right ahead, is that one of my very favorite teachers said that it only takes one person to warm up a relationship. That it's a misconception that it's a 50-50 deal. Like, I'll do my 50 and then you better do your other 50. And yeah. And that's one of the things I discovered in that process of shifting my listening from that my father didn't love me to that he did. And as soon as I did that, it was totally obvious that he did. So thank you everyone for sharing the conversation.
One thing before you move in, I just want to just got to acknowledge this one part. You took responsibility for his listening.
Yes.
And when we start our seminars, we always ask, what do you hear? What are you listening to? And that's so we can be responsible for the listening of the participants. Because we know the words that we say. Many of them are written down. We got a script, a workflow. So we know we said A, but we are being responsible that we may say A, but you may hear X, Y, Z.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it's not a matter of someone's. Yeah, it's not a matter of someone's fault. They're not wrong. They're not, as we say, you're not, there's no right or wrong way to listen to the conversation. There are empowering ways to listen to it, but whatever way you are, it's fine. Now, some people hear that as we're saying there's no right or wrong. And I said a whole bunch of words, and they leave with, well, y'all said there's no right or wrong. I'm going to tell you something. Run a stoplight with a police officer there, you will find out that there's some right or wrong. But back to you, Diva Robin.
Yes, and I also want to just make a comment on what you just said, because so especially for people who are new participants, it may sound like what you're saying about that I took responsibility for the way my father listened to me which is true, that there was a kind of a codependent relationship, and that was not the case. It's not that I took responsibility for him, like I made or I needed him to do a certain thing. It was that I could hear how what I was doing was affecting him, which I couldn't before. And then in my shifting myself allowed him the space to shift with me. And my father is no longer on the earth. And I'm so grateful that we had this beautiful, loving relationship before he was gone. So again, Sheikh, thank you for what you shared too just now. And thank everyone for sharing. So the conversations in our courses are designed to give you power in accessing and having breakthrough results. And one conversation that provides an access to what you don't know is the occurring world. And the occurring world is the combination of conversations we have for and about the physical or real world that manifests our experience of life or how we're living life. And when we say the real or physical world, we're not talking about the world like I listen that the world is beautiful, or I listen that the world is troubled, or I listen that the world is endangered. I'm talking about the world as it applies to my father, or for you, the world that is applies to your, like how you are, the conversations you have for and about your son in the physical or real world, or it's in the specifics of your life. I want to be real clear about that. And that determines our experience of life, just like how Ronnie was, the way he listened, or the occurring world of his father gave him a particular relationship with his father. The occurring world of me with my father gave me a particular reality with my father. It meant that occurring world manifested our experience of life. And when we shifted how the recurring world was, we shifted what happened from then on. I hope that made sense. Did that make sense to you guys?
We'll find out, but you got to move it on.
Another tool we use is the exercise. Yippee! We are going to start the process of clearing the space with an exercise. Diva Nikki, take it away.
Great job, Robin. Great job. Okay, so we're at the presence of love. One tool we use to determine an already occurring world is the conversation for what is missing. We have a little exercise intended to empower you in using this tool anytime, under any circumstances, to generate the presence of love. So we want you to create the following categories: spouse/lover, parents/children, wealth, health. Under each category, answer this question and write down the names of at least 3 people. My presence of love for the person in this category is missing or not at the level I desire. Now, some names may appear under multiple categories, including your own name. Now that you have your list, next to each name, answer this question: what is missing that the presence of which would make a difference and the love would be restored, or the level of love I experience will exceed my desires? Let me repeat that. What is missing, the presence of which would make a difference and love would be restored, or the level of love I experience will exceed my desires? Now, for some of you, what might make a difference is forgiving someone or forgiving yourself. And for others, it may be simply telling the truth to someone about your desires or sharing yourself. It might be a conversation for letting go. But whatever it is, write it down. And finally, next to each name, write when you will have the conversation with that person to restore the presence of love or have your experience of love exceed your expectations. So we're going to take now a 5-minute stretch break. And before we resume the conversation, on the other side of the break, the current world of sex and intimacy, which will be led by none other than, you guessed it, me, Diva Nikki. So it is now 6:28. Please return at approximately 6:33.
My mic high. Your scent lingers on long after we left to go home, but you won't tell me what it is. Somehow your words stay stuck as I imagine my luck as good as it gets, just to get you once, twice, maybe even several times. Can you imagine the things that are on my mind? Well, allow me to tell you, if you got a minute, I would allow you to get all up in it. But before I can let you go there are a few things that I like to share, like how good I am with my fingers and my hands. Are you listening, sweetie? Because I do have a plan on how I can start and how good it'll be when I'm finished. And giving you a single piece of chocolate for an aphrodisiac. Yeah, I want you hard, because I'm going to need you to hit it from the back. Oh, goddamn, I like it like that. So I have to set you up proper, starting with my tongue. Me and your manhood can go one on one as I hum the alphabet and get you ready to come. But please wait, I'm definitely not done. I have to show you how a real woman can do it. Take full control over your body and your mind, massaging your thoughts and fucking you at the same time, just to see if you're on my level. Can you handle the fact that I've wanted you for a while? I waited. I did it with a smile. See, I already knew what I would do when I finally got you. See, desire is a motherfucker, a must-have. Yeah, baby, I can't wait till you tap this ass. See, I need you to be like Anita and give me the best that you got. Do you see how wet and warm it is now that you finally hit that spot? Now you know my pussy is like my poetry. It's good from all angles. Doesn't matter if it's a single word or a single stroke. The rest of y'all can take note of this girl's skills. Every time will be nothing but a thrill as I mount up to ride and take you inside of a place you ain't never been. You dreamed about it. You creamed when you thought about it. Shit so good that you faint without it. Now look at me and tell me you want to leave here tonight without it. I'm done with him. Now I desire you. Please pull up to the next window and please drive through. Press star 69 to repeat the message. Your scent lingers on long after we left to go home, but you won't tell me what it is.
All right, we will be starting up in just a few minutes, but please make sure that you're uh, getting some water, refreshing yourself, stretch your legs a little bit. It's been the last segment was a long one. Uh, and I just want to just say that the value that we get from working with the participants and the feedback that we get from people is just amazing. And that in all of our work, all of our inquiries, the one thing that we do is we make sure that we honor wherever you are in your life. Honor the struggle. Now, the struggle may not be something that's dramatic or traumatic, and it may be something that is traumatic or traumatic. We honor the struggle because it's your struggle and it's individual for you. You may be a mom who's having to work a part-time job so that the kids can participate in after-school activities. So you're dealing with a work-family balance so you can do the best for your children and your family. Uh, you might be someone who's taking care of your parents. Maybe they're elderly now, and you know that you gotta step up to the plate for them. They need you, and it's time for you to be there. So whatever the struggle is for you, or you may have the responsibility of being a business owner, and you have employees who are counting on you so that they get paid, and so that they're able to have insurance and raise their children. Or you may be a spiritual leader, and your congregation needs you to put aside things that keep you from being a servant leader. So whatever the struggle is that you got going. Now, in just a minute, we are just a minute. We should. I think that it is time. The break has ended, and it looks like we have Diva Nikki, and I think some of you were waiting for this subject. Diva Nikki.
Well, everybody calm down. Just calm down.
All
Let's get it
right.
started.
I think the folks was rushing back for this segment, so take it away.
Okay, so here we are at the current world of sex and intimacy. By the way, these are some super sensual slides. Okay, I digress. So we're going to have a conversation about the current world for sex and intimacy. Now, some of you are giggling like little kids, and that's so cute. We know that you are the naughty ones. What do you become present to in your thoughts when you hear the word sex and intimacy? Do you think of something pornographic, pornography? Do you think of something special and loving, something missing or desired, something wild and freeing? Something is a fantasy or a romantic story. Do you hear them separately or as one? Do you hear something spiritual? Now, do you hear lust? Do you hear shame, blame, or guilt? Do you hear love? Whatever you become present to is perfect, totally perfect for this conversation. So take a few minutes and write down all the things you become present to when you hear sex and intimacy. Take this time to write any resentments, hurts, or old feelings of wrong. Write any dreams or unfulfilled desires. Write your passion and fears, and don't forget prejudices and guilt. Now, All that stuff you're writing down is the listening that is already there for sex and intimacy, which gives you the current world in those areas. So don't look at it as good or bad, right or wrong. For this conversation, it is simply what is so. And you want to own it and be present to it. We have something for you to listen to as part of our exercise, and it is another spoken word selection. So, on my signal, please listen to the poem with your eyes closed. Get comfortable and safe. Now, close your eyes. Listen to the poem, Standing in the World of Sex and Intimacy. Ronnie B, your DJ, please play Climaxing by Shani the Poet, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry.
When I see you, always looking kind of sexy, but soft-spoken and a little too gentle, I realize it ain't that I don't want you. I just need a little bit more. And what I mean is, I need to leave your house well fucked and sore. Walking kind of funny. Yeah, baby, I want more. And when I see you again, I just want a cream. From the sex that I had with you that was so good, god damn, it had to be a dream. Yeah, baby, I need a roughneck who ain't scared of my sex. Grab these thighs, suck right here, tell me all this is yours, not mine. I want you to bite me here, there. Go ahead, baby. Ooh, pull my hair. A gentle tug here and a gentle tug there. I'm ready, baby, I swear. Now dare you to tap this ass. Slap it harder while you stroke it fast. I love it when you hit it from the back. Come on, baby, hit it like that. I know you like it when I scream. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. 'Cause you want to taste my sweet cream? Damn, that shit was good. Yeah, baby, I heard you when you said that. You must be familiar with the Kama Sutra, 'cause this is the kind of shit I can get used to. Every week trying a new position. Damn, can we try this one in the kitchen? Maybe with a new toy, double-headed silver bullet, oh boy. And you know I like that butterfly. With that you had me coming in overtime. See, toys are for play, with others I do that quite well. I want to sit down right here for a spell and ride it, oof, until my pussy lips swell. From riding and grinding on your dick, let me pull it out and take a lick. See, that's that good shit. Have your ass toe tapping, 'cause with my kiss and good music, I can strip to this. Yes, baby. I'm a gift you enjoy opening over and over and over. And when I'm on my knees, I want your hands on my shoulder. My lips like to kiss that soldier. Come here and let me put it in my mouth. I want to taste every ounce. As I take it in, you become weak in the knees and beg for me to set you free. I told you feel me. Deep throat, long strokes. Go ahead, baby, hold that note. See, this one was meant to last. Come hard and slow, never fast. Come hard and slow. Come on, baby, here we go. You ready for another one? 'Cause I want some more. Let that freak out. We can do it on a couch or in a chair. You want to tie me up or are you scared? 'Cause all is fair when we're together. Trying new positions? Hell, I even grant wishes. So come over here and let me whisper that, so I can see how long it'll take for me to get it back up again. 'Cause I love it when you're climaxing, climaxing, climaxing.
Well. Okay, everyone. Open your eyes slowly and get used to the light. Relax and remain comfortable. What did you hear in the poem? Was it sexy or intimate? Was it vulgar and a turnoff, or was it exciting and it piqued your interest? See, there is no right or wrong in your experience. It is simply what you are present to in your thoughts. So we have another selection from Shani, and we want you to listen with your eyes closed. The selection standing in the world of sex and intimacy, and please close your eyes. Sound lady, play addicted.
Kind of sexy, but soft spoken and a little too gentle. I realize it ain't that I don't want you. I just need a little bit more. And what I mean is, I need to leave your house well fucked and sore. Walking kind of funny. Yeah, baby, I want more. And when I see you again, I just want a cream. From the sex that I had with you that was so good, god damn, it had to be a dream. Yeah, baby, I need a roughneck who ain't scared of my sex. Grab these thighs, suck right here, tell me all this is yours, not mine. I want you to bite me here, there. Go ahead, baby. Ooh, pull my hair. A gentle tug here and a gentle tug there. I'm ready, baby, I swear. Now dare you to tap this ass. Slap it harder while you stroke it fast. I love it when you hit it from the back. Come on, baby, hit it like that. I know you like it when I scream. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. 'Cause you want to taste my sweet cream? Damn, that shit was good. Yeah, baby, I heard you when you said that. You must be familiar with the Kama Sutra, 'cause this is the kind of shit I can get used to. Every week trying to... You are my favorite addiction. From the way you kiss my lips to the way you make me move my hips. Shit. You keep me thinking about how warm I get inside when you lay in between my thighs. That's right. We can do it all night. But you like to tease me. Play with me so you can taste my cream. You keep me dreaming of you, and I can't wait till you come through so you can do what you do. Massaging my body, relaxing my mind. It's no wonder I enjoy being with you all the time. With that caramel red colored skin, smooth to the touch and tasty, just as much. I get excited and start writing when I think of you and all the things I like to do to you. You know I love your sex. It relieves all my stress. That's why I enjoy doing you best. But please, don't get it twisted. I'm addicted to your mind just as much. Our deep, penetrating conversations give me such a rush, and I'm pleased that you enjoy all of me as well. From the way you massage my thoughts and suck on my thighs to the way you give me all your time and how you keep telling me that your dick is all mine. Sharing the better part of ourselves with one another. Damn, you're just a sexy brother. And you can have me in all ways. Outside, in the rain, or in the bathroom at work. Step back. Let me see how hard I gotta work it. Oh shit. I did say I enjoy your mind, but I can't help thinking of all the positions we've tried, and I don't mind getting out the bed at 6, 'cause I know it's gonna be well worth it. When I feel you lick me from head to toe, and each lick allows it to grow and grow and grow at least 9 inches or more. And now I understand why you say the line stops here. Damn, I'm getting excited just thinking about it. If you didn't know, you are my favorite addiction. I just have one question. You got any new positions? I'm just kidding. But when I see you, I'm going to need more than a minute of your time. You've been gone, and I've missed you much. Signed, Sonny the Poet, addicted to your love.
Open your eyes slowly. Get used to the light. Stay relaxed and comfortable and tell me, what did you hear in the selection? Was it sexy or intimate? Was it vulgar and a turnoff? Was it exciting and piqued your interest? Which selection demonstrated more intimacy and why? So, Diva Nikia, what are you present to right now?
Well,
Don't be shy.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
You're good.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what I am present to is my, you know what? I'm present to my position as I stand as a woman who have been practicing abstinence for an extended amount of time, to my listening and my hearing and my strength of being able to endure the amazing, provocative, and intense communication that derived from Shani the Poet's spoken word, and being present to my position in my stand of protecting myself and knowing where I'm going and being clear with that, and still being able to really be present and enjoy the word that was spoken.
Mhm. Mhm. I like that, and thank you for sharing. Because before I get to one of the other divas, I want to say that to me demonstrates the ability to experience intimacy without physically being intimate.
Present.
Diva Robin. Diva
Yes,
Robin.
ma'am.
Diva Robin.
I'm here.
Do you have a share?
Do I say that again? Do I what?
What are you
do I
present
have a
to?
share? What do I present? Yeah. Well, I actually think that both of them were very intimate. I was thinking back to my days when I was, when sex was new, and and
When was that? When was that?
I'm not gonna comment on that one.
I'm not joining in on the laughter. Go ahead and put out there that Nick is not laughing.
No, I'm not saying, and I do want to say like new, like, I mean, it can always be created newly. I'm not referring to that, but when I was young, and it was like getting to have sex, and I remember there wasn't a lot of, at least in my world, and it seemed like among the people I knew, there wasn't a lot of expression of like really open eroticism and really open sexuality. And I would never have written to a man like that, like the first poem. And I would never have expressed that verbally. I was too, I don't know, I just wouldn't have. It was too intimate. And so even though the first one was really just hard erotic, like gutsy, raw eroticism, I see it as being extremely intimate to open oneself up to, especially for women, I think, acknowledging the intensity of desire and pleasure, and the welcoming of the man into that. And then the second one, I think, was much more about love, and in that one it was sexy too, but it was more like kind of a different style of sexuality, and what I've grown into as as I've gotten older is more of a full range, and that sex and intimacy can look a lot of different ways. And I've also come to see very clearly that sex can happen without any intimacy, and intimacy can happen without any sex. They are when we're really fortunate we get both together. Maybe fortunate is not the right word. Maybe it's creating, but yeah.
Thank you. And I love how both you and Nakia were able to state, from authenticity where you are and where you've been, like part of that journey. I think that's great. Diva Janice, over to you, and then Ronnie B. What you got, guys? Janice?
Oh, it sounds wonderful. Oh, I know this is a setup by Ronnie, and everybody needs to know this. This is a setup by Ronnie, and I'm going to go with the cosmos, the flow. So thank you, Ronnie B., for this segment. The presence of sex and intimacy. What I would like to say is this, and of course, many of the ladies have already touched on this. You can be sexually engaged and have absolutely no emotional ties to the person that you are engaged with. And I hope some of you don't hate me for this, because this is my OCD kicking in right now, because it's the antigens that we pass on scientifically when we encounter multiple sex partners. We bring on everybody that they've had, and everybody that you've had, I've had, we pass on to them. So to keep it intimate, I think that for me, and I'm not saying this is old-fashioned, this is just me at my core. Everybody doesn't deserve you, and of course we go through life, you experiment, you're learning about life, and you're developing. At some point in time, you got to know your value and what you bring to the table, and everybody is not worthy of that. So this segment is dealing with, the presence of sex and intimacy. We have a little exercise. And Ronnie, I'm going to check in with you.
Wait.
Nikki might have a few more words to say.
Thank you.
Yes, wait a second. Diva Janice, you're getting just a little bit ahead. And where you are and everything that you had to say, by the way, it doesn't matter how anybody else feels about anything or what anybody had to share, because it's all about what you're present to, what you hear. And so there's no judgment on what one person is present to or what one person is hearing. So your sharing is actually perfect and ideal. Everyone's perspective, everyone's present, and what everyone is hearing is all perfect for this sharing. But we have to give Ronnie B. an opportunity to share. Ronnie B.
Okay.
One of the things I like what Janice said about everyone doesn't deserve you.
Mhm.
And that's not and now I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about intimate.
Yes.
I'm talking about intimate. Now,
right?
The difference, most animals are not in a single relationship when it comes to sex. And what makes us above the animals is that we can choose intimacy.
Mhm.
Yeah. because intimacy is a choice. Now,
Right.
the actions of sex, yes, that is a choice to either do or not do, have or not have. But what has us be above the animals is that we can choose intimacy, which
Mhm.
gives a whole a world of occurring that is only available to human beings. So, that the poems and really the sharing from the ladies is really makes that present for me. That like I said, I really love what Janice shared. Everyone doesn't deserve you, and that's male and female. Everyone
Mhm.
doesn't deserve you. Mm-mm-mm. That's all I got.
Okay. Um, I want to share really quick before we move on, and that I think the poems to me they were definitely very expressive, and they were definitely very sexy. And I think just to even be able to express that, and this day and age, coming from like what Robin said, growing up in a time period where it wasn't so much so, especially from a woman. I think that in of itself is sexy all by itself. Yes. So now moving right along, you may notice your answers are all based from the past. Now, if you like your current results in the areas of sex and intimacy, perfect. That's great. If you want to have a breakthrough in the areas of sex and intimacy, I recommend participating and doing the exercises. Over the next few sessions, we will be distinguishing different conversations from the past that are limiting our natural creative sexuality and intimate expressiveness. We will look at those old conversations and get them out the way and bring some newly created passion and love to the party. So, I believe we're going to go right on with Diva Janice. And I'm just over there smiling, and she's ready and she's anxious because she has the exercise. So,
Uh,
sex and intimacy. Diva Janice, over to you.
Thank you, Diva Nikia. Nikki, I'm sorry, Diva Nikki. And I just I'm sorry, I botched that one, but thank you. This segment deals with the presence of sex and intimacy. One tool we use to determine an already occurring world is the conversation for what is missing. Wow. We have a little exercise intended to empower you in using the tool anytime, under any circumstances, to generate the presence of sex and intimacy. And as you've heard, they're not the same. And we know that. We do know that. Sometimes we fool ourselves when we want to continue. However, let's do this. Create the following categories. Are you ready? Spouse, lover, relationships, spirit, health. Under each category, answer this question. The presence of sex and intimacy is missing or not at the level I desire. I think everybody probably has a little, there's a little ping there. Anyway, now that you have your list, at least I hope you're working on that list, next to each item, answer this question. What is missing? The presence of which would make a difference and sex and intimacy would be restored, or the level of sex and intimacy I experience would exceed my desires. And I'll repeat that one more time. Here's the question. What is missing? The presence of which would make a difference and sex and intimacy would be restored, or the level of sex and intimacy I experience would exceed my desires. And I think for the sake of time, every person wants to take it beyond that. It's like Emerald when he says bam, when he's put the master touch on that signature dish, everybody wants to get there. But there's so much to work through before you actually have this level of intimacy. Not sex, but intimacy. Now, for some of you, let me start that again. Now, for some of you, what might make a difference is forgiving or forgiving yourself. This is dealing with blockers as to why you're not experiencing that level of intimacy, not sex, but intimacy. For others, it may be telling the truth to someone about your desires or sharing yourself. It might be a conversation for letting go. Whatever it is, write it down. Write the vision and make it plain. And finally, I will say this. Next to each item, write when you have the conversation to restore the presence of sex and intimacy, or have your experience exceed your expectations. Now, I want to bring the team in on this to share their insights.
We actually don't have space.
We don't have space?
Yeah, we're going to have to let you share.
Well, Ronnie, I'm a very private person. I don't kiss and tell, but what I will say is intimacy is very important. It's very important. Number one, I have to be authentic with myself. I can never give anybody anything that I don't possess. So if I'm not loving to myself, I'll never be able to be loving. If I don't forgive myself, I'll never be able to forgive anybody else. If I don't believe in sharing, I'm never going to share with the next person. So I'll just start with myself as an example. I give what I expect to receive. Is that okay?
Yeah. You're just sharing any insights you have for yourself.
Not that I'm looking for approval. Yeah. No, sincerely. I was just saying,
you just sharing any insights you have. So it's all good.
But yes, it is. Yes, it is. For me, intimacy is about being true to myself and not allowing someone to bring a less of value to my value system. Then I'm not being true to my core. And I have something to offer. And I think when people understand they have something to offer that's divine, that has nothing to do with the physicality of being in bed with someone, but just sharing with the person. You bring light to them. You bring encouragement to them. You empower them. You help them go on. That's intimacy. You need to put a value on that. And for me, I value that. And at this time, in our final segment, we're joined by Diva Nikia for the Divine Prosperity Blaster. Diva Nikia? Oh, I'm sorry. I think I need to read this. I need to read this and stay away from the communion wine. It says, and we're taking a 5-minute break. And please return in 5 minutes. That's what I see, Ronnie.
Prosperity. I am.
That was so cute.
Thank you.
Infinite abundance. When considering what prosperity means to me, I may find myself stuck in my thinking. Abundance is more than material prosperity. There's also spiritual prosperity, the limitless manifestation of divine ideas. As I quiet my thoughts and open my mind to my divine nature, I am inspired. I remained attuned to my inner wisdom, I discovered a new sense of confidence to put my ideas to good use in ways that will prosper me. From the moment I wake until I close my eyes in sleep, I remain open and receptive to the abundance of the universe. I give thanks that there is enough for me and for all people. With a grateful heart, I know I have enough to use and to share with others. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:21.
All right. And we have the finale, and it's time to turn that over to the Empress of Faith. Take it
All
away.
right. Thank you, Ronnie B. This has been an amazing conversation today, you all. So, welcome back. I am Nakia, the Empress of Faith. I have a great divine prosperity blaster for you this week. Okay. Decide exactly. Whether it is easy or difficult is not the issue. What matters is whether you choose to do it or not. Is the intended result important enough to earn your commitment? Then you'll carve a path through all the difficulties and complexities. There is no question you can achieve whatever matters most to you. The question you must answer is, what exactly does matter most to you? What are you willing to invest the powerful substance of your effort, your time, your resources to create? Specifically, And in rich detail, what is it? You are capable of more things than you could ever name. Again, you are capable of more things than you could ever name. What you must do is precisely name those objectives upon which you wish to expand your amazing and versatile capability. You've successfully lived every day of your life, and now it's time to do more. So let's decide exactly what you will achieve and what you experience. Decide exactly what you will achieve and experience the extraordinary thrill of making it happen. Okay. As you know, I love to say, I know you have your pen and paper and you're ready to do the work. Let's continue. Write these following categories: love, romance, partnership. Love, romance, partnership. Under each category, write 3 situations where deciding exactly would make a difference. Under each category, write 3 situations where deciding exactly would make a difference. Under each situation, write the conversations that keep you from deciding exactly. One more time. Under each situation, write the conversations that keep you from deciding exactly. What conversations can you now create that, excuse me, what conversations can you now create that would empower you in deciding exactly? Some suggestions, if I may offer, would be creativity, forgiveness, possibility, freedom, or love. Now, those are just suggestions, and you can always choose your own. These are the conversations that you can create that would empower you in deciding exactly. Keep a daily log or post daily on Facebook any results or insights, and please share with the Prosperous Divas. So we're going to take a moment while you're writing and creating that would empower you in deciding exactly. So we're going to share any breakthroughs or insights from tonight's session. So I'm going to ask the team to share any breakthroughs or insights for themselves regarding tonight's session. Nikki, would you mind sharing any breakthroughs or insights from tonight's session that you have taken away?
I want to go back to the segment of not knowing what I didn't know and what that means to me right now. What I didn't know that I didn't know, one of the things I didn't know what I didn't know is that upon grieving the loss of my mother, I would fight every day for myself to want to be alive. I didn't know that I didn't know that.
Wow.
And what that brings me to here in this segment is always remaining authentic, true to myself, and present.
Wow.
This is Janice. If I may, what I would say for me, the takeaway was and is to continue listening. And it just helps me in so many areas of my life and my profession and the people that I serve. Number one, to listen to myself first and foremost, not just external conversations, but to myself. What means most to me and what God is saying to me and how I'm to interact with people He has blessed me to encounter and to be authentic with myself. That's what I take away. And it takes courage for people to adhere to their convictions in life, because many people are dissuaded, if I may say that. Well, yeah, I can. Many people are dissuaded from being authentic because they want to fit a narrative. I'm comfortable not fitting external narratives and adhering to what God is saying is my responsibility. And please understand what I'm saying. It's my responsibility to be present in the season that He has blessed me to live. Number one, to hear Him. Secondly, so that I can serve. So this is my takeaway.
Thank you. And that's
You're welcome.
Jan. And I don't want to step over Nikki's sharing. And thank you, Nikki, for sharing and allowing us to be present in that which is what's important to you and what you're dealing with. Thank you for being authentic and transparent and aware and being willing to just be open. Thank you. Because a lot of people would not speak that. A lot of people would not share that because, and there's nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. And I thank you for being that transparent, because you never know how many people are dealing with that same experience or have dealt with it before and are listening,
right,
and how many lives you have just saved or altered. Thank you.
Right. And that's exactly why I share, because I know that. But that's exactly why I share, for myself and somebody else.
Thank you, Nikki.
And it shows, Nikki. Thank you.
And you know you have an army around you. And I love you. So thank you so much, ladies, Ms. Janice and Nikki. And Ms. Robin, would you please share any breakthroughs or insights from tonight's session?
Well, yes. Sometimes, I noticed that I've had a breakthrough when something that I was unaware of is different. So I went, oh, I've had a breakthrough. So when I was hearing the poems, I've heard other poems of Shani's, and um, they're always interesting and usually coupled by embarrassment for me. Like, oh, that's a little much, or oh gosh, that's not nice, or that's not how my mother talked. And I noticed that when the poems were being played this time, um, I just found them so juicy and delicious and intimate, but they didn't trigger like my wanting to avoid them or go away or feel embarrassed. So that had me so like, oh, something has shifted for me in relationship to that.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Robin.
Thank you.
Ronnie? It's really been you ladies are just awesome. And when I say you ladies, that includes Diva Janice, just because you're the newbie. We're not treating you like a rookie. Yeah, just because you're the newbie, we're not treating you like a rookie. You fully in the conversation. So, hey, one of the things, recently, Diva Nikki's mother passed away. And, one of the things that uh, I put at stake was in the area of love and partnership and having love expressed. And I would know, like Diva Robin said, that sometimes she tells that she has a breakthrough because something else happened and altered her world. And said, whoa, that wasn't going on before. And one of the things that I said was that I would have so many people I work with in business or prospective clients actually say, "Hey, I love working with you, old grumpy prosperous divas." Well, that happened. That did happen, and I had said that part of what I wanted to do was have a partnership with my father's side of the family where we have our first ever reunion where it's based around, people living, not having to come around when somebody died. Well, of course, somebody died. So I said, hey, we want to get together and living, and somebody dies. So my auntie passed away this Friday. They had her on the machines. They took her off, and she went on to her glory. And what I got was that when you're playing in the world of what you don't know, you will start noticing that, hey, my world wasn't quite like this. You may not know what happened, but you can tell that, wait, something altered. And the thing that altered for me was I have my aunt's son, my cousin. I'll just say our relationship has been strained. And um, and his mother passing away was not going to eliminate that strain. That was that had, hey, mother died, got it, but that had nothing to do with the strain. But what I noticed was my cousin actually happened to be in town to referee for the NCAA, and he came by, and there was actually no thing between us. It was like it wasn't even there. Didn't exist. And I was not playing that. So that's what I'd like to share, Nakia. And back to you.
Thank you, Ronnie. And thank you for sharing it. Thank you all for sharing and allowing people to really be present and know that we are doing this work too and that we're impacted just as well as anybody else. We're all human. So for myself, what I got out of this, what resonated with me throughout was the conversation of intimacy. And for me, my thing was always, I want you to see me. So into me, I want you to see. In listening to the communication regarding the poetry, I could not fathom having those conversations when I was younger. I would run away from my mom when she would try to sit down and have real conversations with me regarding sex and so forth. That just was not my thing, no matter what. And so much resonated with me, and I got it. I got a lot from just that moment and being present with who I am and my intentions. And the sharing that has been done throughout the conversation of really being present to other individuals and being in their space, removing the I from the conversations and just being over there with those individuals who are sharing, who are speaking, who are giving of themselves to me in whatever level the conversation is, and really getting it. And therefore, I'm able to really recreate them and be present for them in that moment. And it may not be anything, serious. It could be a joke, something just, they're just really being free to be who they are. They're laughing. They're just having the greatest time ever. And I want to get that. I want to be present to what they're getting. And I want to be free to be present with them. And the whole entire experience of this show has allowed me to alter my way of thinking, to know what I'm committed to versus attached to, even by saying, by Sunday night, next Sunday, I would have gone on a date. Am I committed to it or am I attached to it? And getting real clear with that. And just being excited for the next experience, the next conversation that we're going to share, our next breakthrough as we forward this conversation. So in the process, we have a couple of ways for you too to stay in the conversation. Being at our next session, which is Living Wealthy, the Basics, Love, Romance, and Partnership, Session 3. It's going to be Sunday, March 18th. Wow, the time is really moving. 2018, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Now, Diva Janice, of course, we want to know, how can we be in your world? And it is a very powerful place.
Thank you, Diva Nick. Yeah. Folks can be in my world and you can reach me at www.power4now.com. And let me say that again. I would love to connect with you at power4now.com. This is how they can be in my world. Thank you.
Awesome.
And you can hear her weekly Wednesday empowering message. And she's actually pretty good given how talented she is.
Well, thank you, Ronnie. I thank you. All right, thank you.
Awesome. If you would like to learn more about Diva Nikki's wealth building programs, visit my beautiful Prosperous Diva at prosperousdivas.com/future-wealth, or email her at currencytrader@prosperousdivas.com. Now, Diva Robin, Coach Extraordinaire, how should people contact you, amazing?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. The best way to contact me is through an email address, which is robinartist@gmail.com. And Robin is spelled with a Y, so it's ROBYNARTIST@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you. And Diva Nakia, Empress of Faith, visit me at appointedtimeforyou.com. And I'm so looking forward to each and every one of you getting in contact with us, reaching out, sharing on Facebook, sharing at prosperousdivas.com, all of the insight, the breakthroughs, and even some of your breakdowns that you've gotten as a result of doing the work. WORK, taking action in your life. So, Prosperous Divas, these are the ladies that have been on the show sharing and really leading the conversation for tonight. Robin Jamison, Janice Hollis, myself, Nakia Franklin, and of course, the beautiful, lovely Nikki Taplin. The co-leader, Ronnie B., courtesy of the Old Grumpy Radio Network, is definitely in the place, always. So please enjoy the performance at the end of the seminar tonight. Prosperous Divas. Prosperity is a mindset that can be what? Created by anyone. Peace, love, and blessings. We're out. Till next time.